Pat Robertson was on his show 700 Club, and he decided to tell everyone that he was lucky enough to have a nice little conversation with God about who will win the presidential election. I don't want to give too much away, so let's watch the video.
Some things I'll share with you. I think he showed me about the next president, but I'm not supposed to talk about that, so I'll leave you in the dark.
Probably just as well.
Probably just as well, but I think I know who it's going to be. All right. I'm going to read just what I wrote down, and I'm as if I'm hearing from the Lord these words. Your country will be torn apart by internal stress. A house divided cannot stand. Your president holds a radical view of the direction of your country, which is at odds with the majority. Expect chaos and paralysis. Your president holds a view which is at the odds with the majority. It's a radical view of the future of the country, and so that's why we're having this division. This is a spiritual battle which can only be won by overwhelming prayer. The future of the world is at stake because if America falls, there's no longer a strong champion of freedom and a champion of the oppressed of the world. There must be an urgent call to prayer. Okay.
Okay, so
well, then that settles it.
No,
I wish he'd have told us, though. We can get rid of all this, controversy over the next year. Just be done with it.
What's amazing to me is that these are all the things he wrote down as God was talking to him, right? So God supposedly told him all these things in his ear, and he's so nonchalant about it. He's like, your country will be torn apart by internal stress. A house divided cannot stand.
No, that is a great point by Anna. Can you imagine if God comes and talks to you and you're like, hold on, let me go get a pen and paper. And he's like, what was that again? Internal strife or stress?
Stress.
Right? And he's writing this thing. And then he comes on TV like it's not a big deal. Like today, I had spinach salad and some broccoli soup. And oh, by the way, right, God talked to me. And I think he said, if you notice, he said, yeah, overwhelming prayer is needed. Your president's an ass. And by the way, I got one more fun fact for you. Here's the next president. But shh, don't tell anyone that. Is that how God works? Like that when he comes and he's like, all right, I got some things that you can share with the world, but this one's a super secret, okay? Don't tell Susie or Nancy.
I like how Pat Robertson was the lucky one who got to know before everyone else who's going to win the presidential election.
Yeah. I mean, he'd love to tell you, but right. God told him not to. Okay. Look, if you haven't figured it out by now, and unfortunately a lot of Americans have not, Pat Robertson is a fraud of the highest order. He's a liar. He's a huckster. He scams people for a living. He pretends to talk to, deities and then comes back and sells you milkshakes or whatever the hell he sells you on his website. He then takes money and operates diamond mines in Africa. This guy is a snake oil salesman, the likes of which America has seen before, but he is a classic example, okay? So I just feel so sick for all those people who actually watch his show and think that this clown of the earth is talking to God.